Hi everyone, I'm Kev and welcome to this week's Draw Along. This week we are going to be looking at how to draw action, more specifically this action scene here. However, before we do that, let's take a look at the line of action and gesture drawing. Right, okay, so before we start drawing our action scene, we need to talk about the line of action. So the line of action is an imaginary line, as you can see here, that we draw our kind of character along. So for example, we got two poses here. We can use the line of action to kind of exaggerate our poses. This first pose here is kind of bland, not very impactful. If you've ever read How to Draw the Marvel Way, this is kind of the examples they use in that book. You've got this guy throwing a punch. It doesn't look like it's making much impact. This second guy here looks like his punch is really knocking out the bad guy. And the simple way that we use the line of action is we can draw our character along it. So I'm just going to do a quick sketch now. Let's open up another layer. And there. So here's my line of action. That's my line of action. Right there. So the body, the main curve, is where I'm going to draw my character on. So let's draw that punch. So here we go. There's a head. That arm's coming round here. This arm's going back here. This back leg. So we got the body there. So this back leg, it'll be coming forward. If you watched last week's video, you'll know. So if we were drawing a running pose as well, so this could be a running pose, for example. If the front arm's going forward, if say like the left arm's coming forward, the right leg is coming forward. So push and pull. And there we go, that's the line of action there. And we can draw anything along this line of action. So if I use the same line again, it could be someone getting hit. So head up here, torso here, hips here, and let's have the arms sliding back. Well, they're screaming up to the. This one actually looks more like they're shouting to the sky, and that's how we use that line of action. So you can draw anything along the line of action. Let's make that smaller. So anything can be drawn, even if we're drawing people in like a standing position. You could draw them. So let's just do our line of action. So there's a straight line of action. That's not really straight. There's a straight line of action. It's bland, boring, and our person is just kind of stood straight. If we add a little curve to that, there we go. Now let's say their hips are kind of in this position. So again, see that opposites going. So this arm will be forward, this hip will be forward, and now the person is kind of standing in a like they're leaning in more of a relaxed pose, or there's a proper pose going on now as well. So that's a gesture drawing, and that's using the line of action to pose your characters. As you know, when we're standing, we very rarely, unless like you're a beefeater or something, you're very rarely just stood straight up as well. So yeah, we use this line of action for creating our poses. And again, just as a practice for yourself, if you want to learn this, just draw some random lines on a page. So So there we go, we got some lines of action there. And just fill in like a stick figure. So this person's getting flung back, like so. This person is going to be stretching or jumping up in the air. Yeah, they're jumping for joy. Let's make them jumping for joy because I'm running out of page. So they're jumping for joy. And this last one, they're kind of bent over. And they're annoyed. So yeah, that's the line of action. And that is how we use that line of action to make our characters and our gesture drawings more lifelike. So just before we kind of go on to do the actual drawing for today, practice these. Again, draw that line and see what kind of pose you can come up with it. Another point, it's not necessarily the spine. When I first learned this, like gesture drawing and line of action, it's not, again, but like with this image here, it was that line, there's the line of action there. But this gesture drawing here is kind of along the spine, so it's not necessarily the spine, it can be the direction that the character is, arms are moving or legs are moving as well. So yeah, there we go, line of action. Next up, we'll start the drawing. Alright, so I've kind of laid out my drawing already. As we can see, we've got these gesture lines again. Let me put just a red line on here. So we got that gesture line of this arm going here, this way. And this guy's kind of going like that, sort of. There we go, that would be, he's kind of got two gesture lines coming, because he's at a weird angle. Lines of action. So, what we're going to do with this piece, I'm going to show you where, so this is kind of, we've set up a scene here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to show you where the horizon line is here. So he is under our horizon line. This guy, I'm pointing with my pen. This guy here is under our horizon line. Our horizon line, I would say, starts about here. So that's our horizon line. So anything below this horizon line, we're looking down on. So these legs, we're looking down on. This part of his body, we're looking down on, and up here we're looking up as well. Same on here. Everything below here is going to be like this. Everything above going to be like that. So we can see we're looking up at that arm and we're looking down at this arm. That's a bit rambly, sorry. Right. Okay, so now that we got that in place, what we're going to do is we're going to bulk out the figures first of all. So like I said, yeah, I've already sketched them. I'll tell you what, let's just quickly give this guy a stick figure. So if you're drawing this as a stick figure, that will be where everything goes. So there's kind of, so his spine kind of comes here, because we can still see his butt. And we can have a leg up here. And he needs a leg down here as well. So it's kind of twisting. So that's that stick figure. Again, what I'm going to do is going to go on another layer, and I'm going to bulk these out properly for you. and I will use a regular pencil just so you can see the shapes that I'm using. So if we go in with a head there, his torso is kind of come like this. So if you want, you can draw as well, like either a box instead, but I prefer to use, actually maybe boxes are quite useful for this first one. So if you draw it in kind of box shapes and then go in with your ovals and stuff, that's up to you. But yeah, so there's the shape, so you can see where his shoulders are going, and his fist is coming down here. So let's draw that oval shape. That there. This leg's coming forward, so we're going to have that arm, the top of the leg there, like that, and then the bottom half of the leg is planted on the floor, and this back leg is shut out behind him. So there we go. And let's just draw in that. See, so now I've drawn that. I think it's a bit, I still think it's a bit static, but it'll do. For now, you can see that he's throwing a punch. There's our line of action there. Now onto the other figure. So there, head is kind of like this. It's been twisted. Let's draw a nose. And there's the back, his back, and there's the bottom, his bottom, and let's get in with that leg. So this leg is kind of flown out at a weird angle, using kind of a Todd McFarlane anatomy for this character. The arm. Just drawing the hands. Remember the tubes for the fingers as well. And up here the same, so we're looking up at this arm, remember. Just put another socket there. Very rough. And that's our action scene. So this guy's been hit. So he's flying back like that. So give us some speed lines. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to refine this drawing. Because the purpose of this one is a bit more just to do your action. So if you draw these poses, draw whatever characters you want on top of them. It's up to you. They don't have to be male characters, they can be female as well. It's up to you, it's your drawing. I'm just going to go in, and because we did King of Spies this week on the Nerd Herd comic book club, I'm going to draw like two spy looking guys fighting each other. And then I'll come back at the end and just, or I'll pop up occasionally and just give you some tips on how to draw some like the clothes and stuff as well. Alright. Okay, so there we go, we got our image drawn. Just a rough image, just to show you what we've done here. So, some little things to make your image a bit more impactful. So say this guy here has been punched in the face, maybe have some drool or something shooting out of his mouth, blood, whatever, a tooth maybe, to really sell that he's been really socked on the jaw. Also, with the clothes are going to go in the same direction. So if he was wearing a jacket, his jacket would be go. So sorry, let me explain that better. Sorry. So with clothes, we got this. The clothes will go along with the line of action. So this line of action is going to come like round like this. So as you can see, his tie is going up back along that line of action. And let's say if we put a jacket on this fella, his jacket would also be going around like that. So yeah, that's how we'd draw his clothes. Lastly, so to finish this, before I go on and colour it, I'm just going to talk about, we're going to add another little thing in. We're going to add a vanishing point. So your vanishing point, we're going to use 1 point perspective. So this is kind of used as 1 point. We've used 1 point perspective here. So along this horizon line, I'm going to put a dot, let's say, just, where would that hit punch have hit him? So about here, right. And from there, I'm just going to draw some lines out, lines through that dot. Make sure it goes through the dot. And that's just going to help in your background when we start, when we add in like some little impact lines and stuff. Actually, I don't like it there, so I'd move it about here. Yeah, I'm going to have it about there. I'm going to fix it because Procreate has a drawing guide on it, so I can use the 1 point perspective there. When you draw your 1 point perspective, just use a ruler as well, so you get tighter lines. So yeah, right, I'm going to go in and colour this, and I'll see you at the end. And here we are at the end with our finished drawing. I've made sure I've kept my mic further away from my beard this time. It's a little like iPad earphone mic, so it got stuck in my beard, so sorry about that rattling noise just then. Yeah, we've drawn our picture. We got two guys punching each other, well, one guy punching and one guy getting hit, and that's how we draw action. Think of that line of action, so whenever you come to draw any characters, whatever their pose, think of the line, think of the gesture that they are drawing. That's it for today. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe to the Nerd Herd channel, where we got the comic book club, what's all the Omnifuss about, and the Dawn of Comics quiz night as well on here. Next week we'll have another video, but until then, keep drawing. Bye bye.